I wanted to share just a few things here. I probably won't make this too long as this isn't our regular content, and I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here and listen to everything about my personal life and things of that nature. But I've been doing YouTube now for 5 years. I began in 2020. The channel began as a Let's Play channel, and Hollow Point was the one who motivated me to start. I was watching his vlogs, and I just felt, hey, you know what? This is a really down to earth guy. I really like him. I would love to play video games and share my experiences online. And so I started as a Let's Play channel, like a lot of gaming channels do. And it was just a failure for 3 years. I didn't make any money whatsoever. I got like 1 view, 2 views, 0 views, 5 views. And the rare occasion I maybe got 50 or 40 views. And it was very cool and fun. And I appreciate all of those views, but it was very difficult. I, throughout my life, have worked at like Cookout back in North Carolina, where I'm from. Love North Carolina, NC. So I worked as the grill guy at Cookout. And then I got a job working at a newspaper. And then after I spent a few years at the newspaper, I ended up working installing porcelain. And throughout my time at the newspaper and installing porcelain, I have been doing YouTube. And it has been harder at times because I've been so busy. When I worked at the newspaper, it was a little bit easier to manage. When I was installing porcelain, it was a lot harder because, I was doing really long hour days and we were installing, getting home very late. And I found time to still upload as much as possible, but it was hard. And so this YouTube thing started off as just something to do. And then it really became something like, you know what, I really want to do this more. I'm enjoying it. We ended up switching to gaming talk and doing more gaming discussions, and then lore, and then Call of Duty ended up taking off, and I pursued Call of Duty heavily. And honestly, this year has been phenomenal in terms of what has happened on YouTube. The year before that, we had our best year, and then this year we did even better. Now today, as I sit here, I do YouTube full time, and this year was my first year doing full time completely from beginning to end, and our growth was much better. I had my ups and downs, some burnout here and there, but in general, I really love doing this. I mean, I think back to the work that I was doing installing porcelain, or some of my days at the newspaper. As much as I loved the newspaper and I still have a very good relationship with my old boss there, I just, sometimes the stress of being there and dealing with certain stuff was so hard. And then doing the porcelain installation is just thinking like, damn, I would rather be here working on this YouTube stuff because something that I really like, talking about video games and you guys wanting to hear about it and making money. It's really important to me to be able to provide for my wife and myself and the 2 cats we have. So YouTube has been amazing, and I will never take it for granted. I mean, I know this won't last forever, and I'm here now, but I'm enjoying it every step of the way. And so although this year on YouTube was fantastic, we made, and when I say we, I'm talking about my wife, we made the most money we've ever made on YouTube. We've got the most views. We got the most subscribers ever. I mean, it's been phenomenal in terms of numbers and the growth. We've been able to expand more as well. When I started this channel, I never wanted it to only be Call of Duty. I've said that many times. When I started the channel, it wasn't even Call of Duty. It took about 2.5 years to get into the Call of Duty stuff. But Call of Duty is a good launching pad. Call of Duty is a good world to explore. There's a lot of lore there that I personally like. I love the military type of vibe and the Call of Duty aesthetic and a lot of the characters, and there's a lot to explore. And with that, we can also switch to other stuff. I love talking about games in general. And so when something like Dispatch comes out, or Tomb Raider, or Max Payne, or The Wolf Among Us, anything else, I love to talk about that. And something that makes me the most happiest, and I think these past few weeks, I have been so happy with YouTube, because if I'll put out a Call of Duty video 7 days a week, I know most of you guys are going to tune in because you love, the Call of Duty stuff, and we'll get a few thousand views on each video for that Call of Duty stuff. And I like that, and I'm grateful for that. But what I really love is doing like a different video on a different game, on a different topic every single day for 7 days, and all of those videos doing well. That is something that makes me so happy, because before I would do like 3 Call of Duty videos, then 1 video that isn't Call of Duty, and then the rest Call of Duty again, and the one that wasn't Call of Duty was like really low on views, or it took a long time to pick up. But now I'm able to put out multiple games, multiple stories, multiple new stuff, and they're all doing very well, and that makes me really happy. That shows me that the channel's growing. That shows me that other people are interested not just in the COD, you're interested in all types of game discussions, and you're interested maybe in me and in my commentary. And I really love that, and I really appreciate that, and that makes me happy. So thank you so much for that, and hopefully we can continue that trend going into 2026. But enough of all the good stuff. I would say that in my personal life, this has been the hardest year of my life. This has been the hardest year of my life 100%, and it has been very difficult to balance the YouTube stuff. At the beginning of the year, around January, my wife had a miscarriage, and I was very disappointed. I was very sad. She was very hurt, of course. But the problem is that me and her have been trying to get pregnant. We have been trying to have a kid since like 2022. I mean, it's constant trying, and for one reason or another, it's not happening. She has some issues with, I'm not going to try to get too much into it, but she has some problems with like, not getting her monthly, thing on time all the time. And it has been this whole thing that we're trying to figure out why. And then is that one of the reasons why we haven't been able to get pregnant? Like are we infertile in some way? We've gone to some doctors. I don't know. It's just a lot harder for us to get pregnant, and it has been very difficult to deal with that. And so when we finally were able to get pregnant in 2024, we were over the moon. And I actually didn't even want to celebrate too much when she first told me, because I wanted to go to the doctor and confirm that she really was. And so after we got that confirmation, it was just it was very wild. I mean, I couldn't believe that I was actually going to be a father. I couldn't believe that we were going to have a child. I don't want to get too much into it, I guess, but since I was a little boy, since I was a kid, I've always wanted my own family. And I've always, as I've learned and grown, I've done so many bad things in my life. I've done so many, things that I'm not proud of. I've been mean, a dickhead. My anger issues have sometimes gotten the best of me. And since I married my wife, we've been together for a long time now, since 2018. And since I married her, I've grown a lot as a person. I've been a better brother. I've been a better son, and I just want to be better. And we all have our things, and my family isn't perfect, and my parents, they have their own thing, and my pops and stuff, he taught me a lot of good things, but I also saw a lot of bad things. And so I wanted to be a dad that I could try to take the good that my parents showed me and the good that my dad showed me, and try to instill some of that in my child, but also make my own decisions and teach them my way, and also try to avoid the negative or the bad as much as I could. I know that there's going to be things that I'll do that my son or daughter might look back at and say, well, you did that wrong, and I'm going to try to do that differently next time. But I just always wanted to really be a dad. I really wanted to, and I didn't mind if it was a girl or a boy. I was preferring a girl just because I would love to have a little daughter running around. But I don't know. I mean, we went to a checkup because my wife wasn't feeling very well, and they told us we had a miscarriage, and it fucking broke her, and it broke me, and we were both in pain, but I really wanted her to. I know that she was in more pain. Let's be fucking honest. She's the one carrying the baby. She's the one feeling the baby. She's the one, being happy, talking to it 24/7 while I'm not around, while I'm down here working or when we're out. She's with the baby and she's carrying it. And I know it hit her like a fucking train. So I would try to be as strong as I could for her. I tried to help her, and I made mistakes along the way. And it was dealing with the depression of losing the baby and not having it. So all of that was really, really bad. And then my wife started getting sick a few months after that. And she went through some really tough few weeks, and then I ended up getting really sick around the late October and all of November, and then I barely got out of it starting December. I thought I was dying, but I thought I was dying because I couldn't keep food down. I kept throwing up. I wasn't able to eat really anything. I had very bad stomach issues. I was using the bathroom a lot. I was gagging 24/7. Felt really tired. I felt really weak. I lost like 30 pounds. I mean, I was fucking scared. I had never been that scared in my life. I had never felt this way before. I remember thinking, like, when we had the miscarriage and we lost the baby, I was strong. I felt strong. I was there. I could be in pain inside, but I could physically handle what was coming. However, when I got sick, it felt like my mind wanted to go and my body said no. And I couldn't. And I kept going to the doctor. I went to the ER 3 times. I went to the emergency room. We went to a doctor so much, and I took pills and I took all these other things that they were trying to give me. And I don't know, it was a really scary time. So between losing the baby, between dealing with other things in my marriage, this was the hardest time in my marriage with my wife as well. We went through a lot of difficult times, maybe because of the depression, maybe because of all the loss, because it feels like it's always one thing or another. And then her getting sick, and then shortly after me getting sick, the most sick and the worst sick that I've ever gotten in my entire life. I had never felt that way. I talked a lot about death. I felt depressed. I felt like I had anxiety, and I had never really felt any of those symptoms before. So I didn't understand How could I be depressed? How could I have fucking anxiety? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm always pushing through. I'm always like, if something happens, we just keep fucking going. Like, we can't control it. We have to keep going. It's okay. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Let's go. And I couldn't go. And I didn't understand why. Like, what? Anxiety? I have that? What the fuck do you mean? Depression? What the fuck? What? No, and I was really fucking angry that I couldn't understand what was going on. And I felt that maybe I got depressed, maybe I got the anxiety because I was so sick, because I felt like I was dying. I kept thinking maybe I have cancer, maybe I have some disease that hit me and the doctors aren't picking up on it and I'm going to die and they don't know. And I was panicked, bro. At the end of the day, I was panicked. I ain't gonna fucking flex. I guess the truth. I was scared as shit, and I feel much better now. I'm able to eat again and things have gotten better. I went to my doctor. We went to the checkup again and everything is looking good. So we got a CT scan of my heart, in my chest area, and in my stomach area, and everything looked good. Blood work, others checkups, everything looked good. So yeah, I don't know. We're on the road to recovery now, and we're feeling much better. But it was wild, and I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share that with you guys. That was my year in review, basically for 2025 for YouTube and personal life. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I love being able to do this full time. Hopefully we can continue that trend in 2026. We'll continue to grow even more. I'm just happy to be here. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how everything's going for you. How was your year? And I'll see you in the next video.